Before we start, stay with me for the next few minutes, because Ecclesiastes is not just a negative book. It's a book about what happens when you chase everything and still feel empty. And by the end, you'll see how God works by showing us what really lasts. Let's talk about Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes is a book about meaning. It asks hard questions. What is life really about? What actually satisfies? What remains after all the work, pleasure, and success? The voice in Ecclesiastes looks at life honestly. He talks about labor, pleasure, wisdom, wealth, time. And one phrase keeps returning: vanity of vanities. That means life can feel temporary, fragile, and hard to hold on to. Ecclesiastes is honest about how quickly things pass. People work hard, then time moves on. People build things, then someone else inherits them. So this book is not trying to make you hopeless. It is trying to make you honest. And one of the first lessons in Ecclesiastes is this: life under the sun by itself cannot carry the full weight of your soul. That means if you try to make work your God, it will fail you. If you try to make pleasure your God, it will fail you. If you try to make money your God, it will fail you. Ecclesiastes keeps showing the limits of earthly things. That is one way God works in this book. God exposes what cannot truly satisfy, so we stop expecting eternity from temporary things. This book also says there is a time for everything: a time to be born and a time to die, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. This part reminds us that life has seasons. Not every season feels the same, and not every season is in your control. That is another way God works in Ecclesiastes. God reminds us that we live inside times and seasons we do not fully control. The book also says God has put eternity in the human heart. That means people long for more than this world can give. You can feel that in real life. You can achieve something and still feel like something is missing. You can get what you wanted and still feel unfinished. Ecclesiastes explains that tension. We were made to long for more than temporary results. The book also talks about wisdom. Wisdom is better than foolishness. That is true. But even wisdom does not remove every difficulty in life. So Ecclesiastes is realistic. It does not pretend that wisdom makes life perfect. It simply shows that wisdom is still better, even in an imperfect world. Another theme in Ecclesiastes is enjoyment. That surprises some people, because the book does not only say what is empty, it also says to receive daily life as a gift from God. Food, work, simple joys. Not as ultimate meaning, but as gifts. That is another way God works in this book. God teaches us to stop worshiping the gifts and start receiving them with gratitude. Ecclesiastes also warns about isolation. It says two are better than one, because when one falls, the other can lift them up. This reminds us that life is not meant to be carried alone. By the end of the book, the conclusion becomes simple. Fear God and keep His commandments. That does not mean living in panic. It means living with reverence, with humility, with the understanding that God is God and we are not. So what is Ecclesiastes really teaching? It teaches that life feels empty when temporary things become your main purpose. It teaches that seasons change. It teaches that people long for eternity. And it teaches that real steadiness comes from living with reverence for God. If you have ever felt disappointed after getting what you thought would satisfy you, Ecclesiastes speaks to that. If you have ever looked at life and thought, there has to be more than this, Ecclesiastes speaks to that too. Because this book strips away illusions. And in doing that, it points you back to what actually lasts. If you're listening to this, I'm glad you're here. Ecclesiastes reminds us that temporary things make poor gods. But God is steady, even when life feels uncertain. If this helped you understand Scripture more clearly, leave a comment with what stood out to you. And if you want to keep walking through the Bible with me, book by book, go ahead and subscribe. Next up is Song of Solomon. Take care of yourself, and we'll keep walking through this together.